My life was completely normal before the accident. I was just a regular teenage girl with nothing special or strange about me. However, after the meanest guy I ever met put me in the hospital, nothing has ever been the same. Now he's missing and everyone is blaming me. Let me tell you how this all started. You see, Lee was the principal's son, and that meant he could get away with everything. He was a big bully and incredibly stupid. He would have failed every single class if his mom didn't pressure the teachers into giving him a passing grade. I hated him so much, but tried to stay away from him, because I knew becoming the target of his bullying was really bad. He had ruined the lives of several kids during middle school, but now that we were in high school, everything was much more serious. He punched a kid until his nose bled once and lifted a girl's skirt in front of everyone. As you might guess, he never got in trouble, and his mother always covered for him. My Lee is a good kid. The students are just jealous of him because of who his mother is, the principal said every single time Lee was accused of something terrible. In fact, it got so bad that 2 students actually transferred to stay away from him. Like I told you, I was a regular girl, a bit of a punk in my dressing style, but other than that, just an average teenager. I had a few friends, a few rivals, and participated in a few after-class activities. That was until Lee decided I was the perfect victim for his bullying. God, he was obsessed with messing with me. He would push me to the ground when we were out on school trips, make fun of me in front of the class, and throw cold water at me when we were in gym class. I hated everything about it, but no matter what I said, he never got in trouble. Not even the day of the big accident. I was heading to school, and Lee and his friends were sitting at the top of the stairs, laughing and mocking everyone who walked by. He saw me coming, and I saw a mean smirk grow on his face. Since I rode my bicycle every day to school, I was still on it when he decided it would be so fun to throw something at me. I can imagine what he thought back then. Oh, let's pick on the punk girl. That'll be so hysterical. And that was exactly what he did. But he took it too far, throwing a thick stick my way. I lost control of the bike, and the next thing I knew, I was flying in midair. Before landing heavily, hitting my head against the first landing of the staircase. I blacked out immediately and can't remember a thing of what happened next. My friend told me it was pure pandemonium, with everyone around screaming and scrambling to either help me or run away. Lee was one of the students who ran away. I woke up a few minutes later in the school infirmary with a terrible headache. My best friend Hannah was standing next to me. The nurse suggested my parents were called, but I refused since I was just feeling a bit dizzy and didn't want them to get worried. I'm fine, I lied, and left the infirmary with Hannah. There in the hallway, I saw Lee and his friends laughing about what had happened to me. I knew that if I told the principal about it, she'd refuse to believe her darling son had anything to do with it. So I decided I would take my own revenge on him. Enough was enough. Remember how I told you everything changed after the accident? Well, something wasn't quite right with me ever since that day. But let me tell you about what happened to Lee first. I tried to avoid him as much as humanly possible, but he kept mocking and bullying me. I ignored him, pretending he didn't exist, continuing to map out my plan to get back at him. Then one day, Lee disappeared. He was driving home when he lost control of his car and crashed into a snowbank. Police following the case spoke to a driver who stopped and asked if he needed help. No, I'm fine, he replied and stayed by his car until the stranger drove away. No one saw him again after that. Well, no one except me. The driver, being a good Samaritan, called the cops to let them know a teenager had crashed his car minutes before. But when they reached the scene, Lee was nowhere to be found. There were no footprints in the snow, sniffer dogs couldn't get a scent on him, and a heat-seeking helicopter spotted nothing at all, even after overflying the area for days. There were several confusing leads. He had withdrawn money from his account moments before the accident. There was a map to Vermont in the backseat, and several other bizarre hints that made no sense whatsoever. His mother immediately blamed me, saying that I was always out to get her son, accusing him of things he never did. The police investigated me and they were super suspicious since I was happy that he was gone. But there was no evidence linking me to the disappearance. Now you might ask yourself what I could possibly have done to take revenge on him, and why I was there at the scene of the accident with no one seeing me. It was because ever since the accident, I've developed certain powers, controlling people's actions, telekinesis, and telepathy. I worked hard on improving all these powers until I was sure I could use them against Lee without getting caught. I made him lose control of his car. I made him leave behind contradictory clues just to mess with the cops and his mom. And then I made him fly away by my side, leaving no footsteps behind. Lee is very much alive, but not enjoying himself, I can tell you that. And no, I don't plan on telling you where I'm keeping him. Let's just say I plan on making him pay for every single kid he bullied over the years. Thanks for watching. Have you ever wanted to take revenge on someone that hurt you? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos on the channel.